What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Boone TV. Today, I want to talk about the benefits of fasting. So, me personally, I just finished up a 72-hour fast. That's 3 days without any food, without anything to drink, outside of water, tea, electrolytes, and things like that. Now, there's a lot of science behind fasting: what happens biologically, what happens emotionally, what happens within the body, what happens spiritually. And I want to break down some of the things that I've discovered through going through my own journey of fasting. All right, so listen up, because this information is very valuable. It's very important. You need to hear this. So for me, I fast for several different reasons. If I want to lose weight, if I want to gain clarity in life, these are some of the reasons why I fast. Now, why does every religion on earth talk about the importance of fasting? Whether you're a Christian, whether you're Muslim, whether you um, are Buddhist, whether you're a monk, okay, every single religion on earth has incorporated fasting in one shape, form, or another. Why is that? Because there's a spiritual clarity that you gain when you fast. So for me personally, whenever I was lost in life, whenever I needed clarity, whenever I needed guidance, whenever I needed to make an important decision, what would I do? I would fast. So a lot of you are faced with decisions, some big, some small. If you need clarity on a situation in your life, should I take this job? Should I move to this state? Should I marry this person? You need to fast, okay? I'm not saying you need to fast for 3 days, but the longer you fast, the more clarity you gain, the more insight you receive. Now, I don't want to get too spiritual, too woo woo, because people tend to stray away from woo woo, magical, spiritual type of things. But I'm saying is you get closer to God when you fast. That you'd be surprised what not eating can do for your life in 3 days. I suggest if you've never done it before, warm up to it. Just go a whole day without eating and see if you receive a smidget of clarity. And then if you're able to go two, build from there. I wouldn't say jump right into 3 days. But what I will say is, for me personally, I do it to gain clarity. Now, outside of the clarity point, there are certain things that happen at a cellular level when you fast. When you fast for 3 days, you have regenerated all new cells in your body. This is science, okay? When you fast for 3 days, you have now created new cells. You have flushed out the old cells in the system, which may have been filled with toxins, junk, bad energy, bad diet, bad food, or whatever the case may be. You have created all new cells. So, in essence, you have become a brand new person. Okay. You may start to receive healing. Okay. Because now the body is returned back to homeostasis. What happens a lot, especially with us in America, we eat a lot and we overeat. So, it tends to overload our body, overload our cells, and our body actually has to work harder to break down the excess amount of food that we eat. It's called gluttony. All right. We're fat. Let's just be real about it. I'm not calling you fat. I'm calling us fat as a community. So, at a cellular level, it's good for your health overall. So, we've talked about the cellular, we've talked about the spiritual. Now, when you fast, I'm going to be real with you. There are going to be certain challenges that come with fasting. All right. Day one, you're going to experience hangriness. Okay. You haven't eaten all day. You're going to be irritated. You're going to be frustrated. You're going to be angry. You're going to be enraged at little things that normally wouldn't bother you had you had a nice meal. You need to power through this. Okay. On day two, you're going to feel proud of yourself because you went a whole day without eating. You're not going to feel hangry, but you are still going to be hungry. You're going to be like, wow, I haven't eaten in a whole day. I would really like to eat something right now. But it's not anger anymore. It's just the addiction to the food that we have as a community because we're addicted to food. Let's be real. Not all of us, we don't always eat because we're hungry. Some of us eat because we're sad. Some of us eat because we're mad. Some of us eat because we're happy. Okay. There are certain emotions that lead to us eating that don't always mean hunger. I don't always eat because I'm hungry. So it's important for you to determine and differentiate if you're hungry or if you're eating to fill some emotional void. Okay. There's a reason why, and women, I'm not picking on you, but there's a reason why when women go through a breakup, they call their friend and they eat ice cream and snacks and chips and candy, and because that they're eating to fill the void of the emotions. Okay. So this is another thing you're going to realize when you go on your fast. Now, we've talked about the cellular level, we've talked about the spiritual level. Let's talk about now what fasting does for you long term. What it's going to do for you long term at a mental level is it's going to give you mental fortitude. Once you go 3 days without eating, you're actually going to feel like you can do anything in this life. You're going to feel like nothing can stop you. You're going to feel powerful. You're going to feel like a God. All right. Because and I'm not saying you are God, but I am saying that. Okay. A lot of us think God is without. God is somewhere in the sky. God is somewhere outside of us. No. You are made in the image and likeness of God, according to the Bible, meaning God is within you. So you actually tap into that God frequency and God energy that you have within you, and you become the person that you want to become. So there's a lot of data, there's a lot of science behind fasting. I encourage you, if you don't believe me, try it for yourself. Look into some of these things and see if your life doesn't improve drastically. That's it for today's video. Good luck out there.